Nearly $1 billion of your tax money has been invested in the Riverbend complex. That's where Tesla and Panasonic are now making solar panels.
But the state is tight-lipped when it comes to its flagship economic development project. As part of our New York State Uncovered series, News 4's Callan Gray looks into the call for transparency.
For the past month, we've been trying to get an update on how many jobs Tesla has promised the state it will create, how many people have been hired, and what the penalties are if they don't deliver. The state would not go on camera to talk about the Riverbend facility, and we were not allowed inside. Even state lawmakers say they feel left in the dark.
It's touted as the largest solar manufacturing facility in the Western Hemisphere. More than 10,000 solar panels are expected to be produced at the Riverbend complex. Tesla says about 500 people are at work right now, including 300 hired by Panasonic.
We do a lot of the manufacturing for the solar modules, which are basically the panels for that you see on the roofs of houses. And then we're moving into the next phase now where we're going to be manufacturing solar cells. Those solar cells will go to Tesla and they will make their solar roof.
Those solar cells were on display at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
These individual products that you see right here.
Panasonic's vice president explaining how they're used in Tesla's roofs. Here in Buffalo, talent acquisition manager Terry Van Epps says Panasonic will hire another 150 employees by the end of the year.
A good portion of those will also be production, running either machine operators or general production associates. And the rest are going to be, again, related to engineering, supply chain, and positions of that nature.
The state says Tesla is committed to employing 1,460 people at the site by 2020. But what if they don't meet that goal?
We do have clawback provisions in the contract with Tesla. I don't recall what the dollar amount is, but it's not inconsequential.
Empire State Development CEO Howard Zemsky was grilled by lawmakers in Albany last week. The state is staying tight-lipped about this project. We made more than half a dozen requests for interviews over the past month. Those were declined. We also asked for the contracts between the state and Tesla through the Freedom of Information Law, filing a request with Empire State Development, Fort Schuyler Management Group, SUNY Polytechnic, and the New York State Budget Office. All four parties have a role in managing or moving this project forward. The Division of Budget says it needs until May to come up with the documents. State lawmakers also made it clear last week in Albany they are also waiting for details.
Do we still have an agreement that's enforceable and in place even after all of the changes as far as ownership?
Republican Assemblyman Ray Walter says ESD's annual report was late and there needs to be more transparency on these projects.
A database of deals where you can go onto a website and search any deal that we've incentivized with state money and figure out where it is in the process, how much money they've received, and how much they have lived up to their agreements.
Walter says there are a number of bills on the table this session to make sure state agencies are held accountable for taxpayer-funded projects, including at the Riverbend complex.
So we've made a $750 million investment of taxpayer money, and we want to make sure that that's going to pay off.
Calls for transparency heated up more than a year ago after top state officials were accused of bid rigging. Prosecutors accused former SUNY Polytechnic head Elaine Caballeros and others of favoring Buffalo developer Louis Simonelli, ensuring he was awarded the $750 million Riverbend project. That trial gets underway in late spring, early summer this year. State Senator Tim Kennedy, a Democrat, says this project has been a learning experience.
Certainly, there were hiccups along the way, and some of those certainly could have been prevented, and we have to learn, the state has to learn, Empire State Development, and every single development agency has to learn from some of the mistakes that were made.
Bills on the table right now in Albany call for penalties if state agencies like ESD fail to file required reports on time and argue the state needs to hire an outside firm to do an audit of all state economic development projects. Lawmakers tell me there is definitely momentum to get these passed. Reporting in studio, Callan Gray, News 4.